Tell me all your problems, but don't ask about mine. Hello. Here we are again talking a little more about INFJ weaknesses. And today I'm just moving down the list. And today I chose the not sharing your troubles. Yeah, we are, and I'm just gonna I am not an expert in Myers-Briggs. I'm just, going down a list and talking about my viewpoint on what the description says is a weakness for me, for us, for anyone else with this type. So this is my viewpoint. You can pick it apart if you want. I like a debate. That's okay. We are great listeners. We can sit quietly and listen to someone talk about their issues, talk about their problems, and we can give good, insightful advice. And we are great counselors. A lot of, from what I read anyway, a lot of INFJs are counselors, therapists. They are interested in psychology and in people's issues, and they want to help. And I believe that we are created and born to help people because we can see all sides of a situation. We can give great advice, and we have really a huge capacity for empathy. So if you have a problem, most likely if you're close to me, I already know you have an issue because I can feel it, I can sense it. And if you talk about it, I am really good at listening and giving you good, honest, helpful advice. When it comes to our own problems, when it comes to my own problems, I have thought and thought and thought and thought it through. That introverted intuition, it just rolls it over and over and over in my head. And, I've thought my problems through a million times in my sleep while I'm awake, and I really don't want to burden others with my issues. So a lot of times I keep this, calm, relaxed exterior for the most part. Although my husband likes to call me uptight, I kind of keep a kind of a shell around myself to remain calm and not get too rattled, at least on the exterior. And, the other thing is I don't want my feelings mirrored back to me because, if I share a story about something that had really hurt me and I'm telling the story in person or talking about a struggle I'm having with my own self or, my family, my husband, if the person I'm speaking to is someone that then would get emotional about it, out of empathy or, whatever, then those feelings would then get mirrored back to me. And it sometimes can be uncomfortable for me to actually see my own feelings on someone else. I also don't like pity. And I feel like if I share an area that I'm struggling or, something in my life that's really hard, that someone would feel pity for me. And I don't like pity. I never want that feeling. I don't talk about my physical health too much with people outside my family because a lot of times people feel really sorry for me if I do. And I don't really like that mirrored back to me because I don't feel sorry for myself, so I don't want other people to feel sorry for me. And the other part is, and I don't know if this is true for other INFJs, but I feel like I should be able to handle everything myself. I should be self-sufficient. I have so much insight into, how people feel emotionally and how the world works and how relationships work. I should be able to handle my own relationships and my own emotional well-being all by myself. I should not need any help. I shouldn't need any advice. And I know that these thoughts are wrong, but that's how I feel about it. Do you guys feel the same way? Do you feel like you should be able to handle things alone and you should be this self-sufficient, emotionally intact person that can think everything out themselves, and that you don't need anybody? You know, going into counseling and going into therapy, which is almost a year ago now, to me really felt like a defeat. I felt like I had failed. I felt like I had lost the war with myself and my problems, and the fact that I had to go to another person and get things straightened out felt like I messed up. Like I didn't do something right because I really want to handle it myself. And I don't think that's definitely a weakness. We should be able to go to other people and not feel shame about it. I'll tell you a little story. The church I used to be in, I was part of the prayer team, which I've talked about before, and I would pray for people, which was really fun. I've got a little bit of a cold here. So I have a little runny nose. But I was part of this prayer team, and I really enjoyed that because I could, speak into people's lives, speak into their problems, bring, help facilitate bringing them healing. And that was a really good thing for me. But I really, during that time, was dealing with a lot of sadness in my own life and a lot of, kind of emptiness and not knowing what I was doing with myself. So I would sometimes ask for prayer, and every time that I would be going up to ask, my fellow prayers for prayer, I would have this thought in my head, here comes Joy again. She's going to say she's sad. And, no one ever said that to me, but for me, it was like, that's what my thoughts were telling me, like they're thinking, here comes Joy again with another problem. Oh my goodness, we're going to have to pray about the same thing again. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to burden them. I didn't want to take up their time to deal with my problems, once again. But we are not meant to go it alone. Humans are community people. And even though we're introverted and we need our time to ourselves, we are not meant to go it alone. We are meant to share our troubles. Biblically it says to confess your sins one to another. And that means that you talk about your issues with other people, with a trusted friend or, in my case, a counselor. Because even though we think we've got it all figured out and our introverted intuition tells us that, we know this, that, and the other thing, and sometimes we feel like we know it all when it comes to human nature. You need an outside influence sometimes to straighten things out for you. So as much as you enjoy listening to other people's problems and helping them, give someone else the opportunity to do the same thing for you. I think that you will be really blessed and you'll be surprised how much people care about you. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say today. Nice short video. Thank you guys. Have a great week. See you next time.